The 2016 Ram 2500 Laramie Mega Cab 4x4. This is the big, badass diesel truck you buy when you have a lot of poundage to pull. I'm Jay. Welcome to the latest episode of Car Buzz Unboxing Reviews. But first, I want to thank Folsom Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram for letting me come on down and film this truck for you today. So, the Dodge Ram. This is a car that dates back, well, to the several years ago, but it got its distinctive look beginning in the mid-1990s. That front end, it gives the car that signature look, and I don't think compared to the Chevrolet Silverado or the Ford F-150, neither one has really quite defined a truck look like this one has. But from the moment you step inside, I'll get to more interior details in a few minutes, you can see that just like the rest of full-size pickup trucks today, this heavy-duty one here, it is literally an all-out luxury car. I mean, you're being pampered in this thing. It's a great-looking interior, leather seats, you name it. And when I talk about pricing towards the end here, it boggles the mind just how expensive pickup trucks have become. I mean, you got to remember, pickup trucks were workers' trucks, they were farmers' trucks, but now they've become so mainstream, and these automakers, they're making so much money off of them. That's why they love building them, and they have so many configurations and body styles and trim levels for you to choose from. And speaking of body styles and trim levels, this Ram 2500 is the Laramie. It's a Mega Cab, meaning it is literally a sedan it's a truck sedan. You can seat 5. It's got a full rear seat. It's got a large bed, 6.4 feet. It's a massive truck. So why are you going to get the 2500, as opposed to the Ram 1500? Well, it's when you need to tow more stuff, simply put. Now, even though the Ram 1500 does come with an optional diesel V6, this one also has its own diesel, which is a 6.7-liter inline-six Cummins turbo diesel. And I'll show you that in a moment as well. But this exterior here, I really like it. I love this front end. I think it is my favorite of all the full-size, heavy-duty trucks. This one's painted in that brilliant black crystal coat with that Mega Cab body style. It's great. This one also comes with a 342 rear axle ratio. The 373 ratio is actually standard. And you got these big 20-inch black painted aluminum wheels that are riding on on-road, off-road tires. This car also comes with the Sport Appearance package. That costs almost $1,700 extra. It gives you some cool things like a body color grille with a black wave insert, black ram head tailgate badge, body color door handles, and a black power folding away mirrors, which they're all nice, but $1,700, and when you tack that onto the final price, again, I'll get to that, you might second guess the need to have that Sport Appearance package, but man, all that black looks killer on this thing. Under the hood, like I said, 6.7-liter inline-six Cummins turbo diesel. This thing, 370 horsepower and 800 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to a 6-speed automatic, 4-wheel drive. Now, this particular engine, it's not the base engine. It costs an extra $9,000. The standard engine is a 5.7-liter Hemi V8, and the mid-range engine is a 6.4-liter Hemi V8. Both of those, the Hemis, they're gasoline engines. This is the only diesel option available for the Ram 2500. But why would you get this particular engine, the diesel, as opposed to the gasoline ones? Well, it's because this diesel, it offers you just the maximum towing capacity. Best-in-class towing, 17,980 pounds. But let's take a look at the interior here a little bit more here. Now, like my recent review of the Ford F-150 Platinum, I mentioned that thing is it's a luxury pickup truck, and same thing goes with this. Now, I know a lot of you are familiar that Chrysler has built subpar interiors in the past, but I will say this. I was really surprised by the quality of this Ram truck here. Ever since Fiat Chrysler has taken over, they've just upgraded materials in every single one of the brands, but especially Ram. And the reason being is Ram pickup trucks are huge sellers. In fact, Fiat Chrysler CEO Sergio Marchionne is killing off the Dodge Dart and the Chrysler 200 so that the automaker can focus more on Ram trucks and Jeeps. So literally, Fiat Chrysler, it's starting to get out of the conventional car business and focusing on big rigs like this. Business is business. Rear seat, I mean, it's massive. You can easily fit 3 adults back here, over 6 feet tall. I mean, 2 would be better, more comfortable, but if you need to seat 3, not a problem. And I like this car's black leather interior. You have some really nice quality stitching. So I mentioned this in the F-150 review as well. My opinions on getting premium leather interiors for trucks like these, I don't know if I would splurge on that. The reason being, I'd be buying this truck as also a work truck, and I'd be concerned about kind of messing up that leather because it's really nice, especially here. Again, top quality interior. Now, compared to the F-150 and the Ford F-250 is similar. I describe that interior, or at least the dash, is just, everything was just oversized and very manly. Here, it's a little more conservative, and I like that. It's got a more elegant look. But now I want to start the engine for you. Okay, I mean, it's a diesel. That's what it sounds like. It's a diesel. What can I say? Oh, I want to show you this because this is fantastic. This is Fiat Chrysler's Uconnect infotainment system. And I've said this before, Uconnect, in my opinion, is the best infotainment system in the industry right now. Seriously, it is better than what you can get from the German automakers. Definitely Toyota with its Entune system. You can see that on the on the Toyota Tundra. I was not impressed with Entune. Uconnect, very impressive. The colors are great. It's a very logical system. The user interface, it is easy to figure out. Even if you've never really worked with touchscreen systems before, this is extremely user-friendly. Now, this truck, it's, like I mentioned, luxury. You get 9 Alpine speakers with subwoofers, dual climate control, and it's just an overall premium feel. You also have 10-way power leather bucket seats with memory. Those cost an extra $520. Heated steering wheel, and also heated second row seats. Now look at the size of the center console storage bin here. I mentioned in the Ford F-150, it was so wide, the center console, you could fit a laptop in here. Same thing goes for here. It is literally a small suitcase worth of storage right there. This truck, it's more than just a work truck. It is also an office on wheels. The people who I can see buying something like this, whether it's the diesel or the Hemi engine options, it's for construction site managers. They need to get into their trucks. They need to plug in their laptops, make phone calls, but yet they need to haul stuff around. This thing, it can do it for you. You also have some cabin bed length options too. Now the crew cab, it comes with a 6.4 foot box, crew with an 8 foot box, and the Mega, like you see here, 6.4 foot box. I think 6.4 feet, that's good enough. 8 feet is, that's just a very long truck. So let's talk safety here, because, well, I'll put it to you this way. Driving this thing around, I did not feel for a moment unsafe. It was for other drivers who it would not be good for them to crash into me. You get four-wheel anti-lock brakes, side curtain airbags, driver and passenger airbags, electronic stability and traction control. You get these really cool power adjustable pedals. I like that, especially for shorter drivers. And you also, of course, have a rear view camera. You're going to need it. Now, the Ford F-250, for example, that offers something called Hill Start Assist to prevent you from rolling backwards at stops. You can get a similar feature in this. It's optional, but I really do recommend that, especially if you're towing something. Oh, and speaking of towing, I forgot to mention to you what the payload capacity is. Well, you're going to get 3,990 pounds of payload in the bed of this truck. And to compare a little bit with the towing, the Ford F-250 has a maximum towing of 16,600 pounds. Again, this one, 17,980 pounds. This is what you get when you need to not only tow speedboats, but big trailers, caravans. This is what it's for. And you can go in absolute comfort. So how does something this big drive? Well, when you're going on smoother roads and at slower speeds, it's extremely comfortable. It's soft. It's got coil springs in the rear as opposed to leaf springs in the F-250. But I do have one complaint about the way this Ram 2500 goes on the highway. When you have strong highway winds, they're going to really move this big rig around, and you're going to be fighting it a bit. I know it's a minor complaint, but it's something that I think you ought to be aware of. Yeah, just look at these rear seats. They're huge. But there's something else I want to point out to you. If you're debating whether or not to get this diesel engine with a Cummins diesel here, or just going for one of the two Hemi V8s, well, I want you to take into account the Ram 2500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4. It's a little different than this one, a little smaller, but you only get the diesel version of that, again, if you tow a lot. Here's why. Because towing ratings for the standard 5.7 liter Hemi gas engine, they clock in at 11,060 pounds for the 3.73 axle and 13,060 pounds for the 4.1 axle. Now, despite having nearly double the amount of torque on tap, the Cummins diesel with the 6-speed automatic combo in the Ram Bighorn Crew Cab, which is not quite this truck but similar, a little smaller, it only ups the maximum towing figure to just over 17,000 pounds. So, bearing that in mind, the 6.4 liter Hemi, it costs about, $8,000 less than this optional diesel. Going for the mid-range Hemi, it just might make more sense. Again, this engine, it costs nearly $9,000 more. So unless you are really, really towing, I don't see the need to have it. The 6.4 liter Hemi gasoline engine is just fine. And fuel efficiency with this one, you're going to get around 12 miles per gallon, and the 6.4 liter Hemi is a little less than that, but again, I don't think the $8,000 or $9,000 premium price for the diesel is quite worth it. So let's talk pricing. So this truck, the Laramie 2500, has a base price of $51,680. But this one right here with all those features included, including that diesel engine, it's going to cost nearly $67,000. This truck right here, $67,000. That's an insane amount of money for, in my opinion, is a worker's truck. I mean, yes, of course, it's a luxury vehicle as well, but maybe I'm a little more of a purist in what I think a working truck should be doing. Working. If you want luxury, there's crossovers, there's SUVs, but a pickup truck, it's a working truck. Now, the Ford F-250, as well as the Chevy Silverado and the GMC Sierra, they all have base prices very similar to the 2500, and the Ford F-250, for an example, will hit nearly 70 grand as well. So, like I mentioned, automakers, they make a lot of money off these trucks. And it's just by adding on a lot of features. So I'm out of time for today. Thanks a lot for watching. Any more questions, leave them for me in the comments section. And be sure to subscribe to the Car Buzz YouTube channel and look out for my next unboxing review. And I'll see you all next time.